One of the most common questions I get is, what do I do after a chief of staff role? Because this role is so encompassing of so many different things, sometimes it can be hard to figure out what comes next. For chiefs of staff, I tend to see 4 main career paths that they take after being a chief of staff. First and foremost, many chiefs of staff have aspirations to start their own company. That was definitely the case when I took on my chief of staff role. I thought, what better way to learn how to become a CEO or entrepreneur myself than to work closely with an executive and see how a business is built from the ground up. Second, many chiefs of staff find that they want to specialize in one of the many functions that they run after being a chief of staff after a certain amount of time. For example, maybe you've focused heavily on operations and you're ready to take the next step into becoming a head or VP of operations. What we find is that the chief of staff role is a great stepping stone into figuring out what you like doing and then potentially choosing a function to specialize in afterwards. Third, we see many chiefs of staff really enjoy being this wide generalist in support of their executive, and so they stay on past the typical 2-year mark. What that might look like is that as the CEO grows and the company grows, they continue to lean on their chief of staff as that first and foremost line of defense when it comes to gatekeeping their time and helping think through strategic initiatives. In the last 5 years, I've seen many chiefs of staff stay on with their principals long-term past the 2-year mark and continue to grow alongside them. The last career path that I see a chief of staff take on is really everything and anything at all. Because you have such a wide background and you've worked on so many different things, any role is really within reach. But what that means is that you really need to work on crafting your narrative so that you make yourself the best candidate for whatever position it is that you're stepping into next, whether that's internally or externally. So there you have it. Those are the 4 most common career paths that I've seen chiefs of staff take. If you're a chief of staff and you've moved on to your next role, let us know in the comments what you've stepped into next. My name is Clara, and I'm the founder of Ask a Chief of Staff. Make sure you're following us here on LinkedIn for more information on the chief of staff role.